Hey guys, welcome back to Survivopedia. My name is Jason Salyer, and I've done a video on my EDC, the stuff that's in my pockets basically, and what I carry on me on a regular basis. But in addition to that, I have a pack generally with me. It's either in my vehicle, on my back, strapped to my motorcycle, whatever. It's somewhere nearby. And seasonally, the contents of that pack will change. Based on the mission at hand, the contents of that pack will change. I may need sleeping bags, I may need extra layers, warming layers, maybe more food, less food, tools, all kinds of different things will change. But for the most part, the core, the base equipment in that pack stays exactly the same. I just move it from a bigger pack to a smaller pack kind of deal, depending on what I'm doing. But this is kind of my summer pack, my everyday drag around wherever I'm going pack, my day hiking pack, and it's by Hill People Gear. It's called Tarahumara pack, and I really like it. It's durable, super robust. I'm a big fan of it. But inside of there, it fits all of those essentials, the core equipment that always stays in my pack, whether it doesn't matter which pack it is. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dump this thing out and see what's in there. First and foremost, I've got a way to make myself some clean water. This is a Grail water filter. The thing I like about this the most is that it's easy to use, and it's also my water bottle. So I pull this thing apart, got a little water in there, pull this thing apart, dip it in the creek, plunge it down, and in less than a minute, I've got myself 16 ounces of drinkable water. They make one that's 24 ounces as well, but this one's just a little bit handier, more portable. Really, really big fan of that. I've always got a way to get myself clean water out of any creek, pond, whatever it is that I can find, always. Now, in addition to that, I've got a metal container. This metal container, not only is it something that I can drink out of, drink coffee, whatever it is, boil water in to make it safe to drink if something should happen to my water filter. But it also contains all of my little stuff, little things that could easily get lost in a pack if you didn't have some way to organize it. So I keep that inside of my metal container. This is a Stanley cook pot. I like these a lot. The lids are fantastic, and I always replace the lid with just a key ring because it melts in the fire. Oh, and around that metal container, I usually keep some sort of big rag, shamag, or whatever you want to call it. This is just a big piece of cotton cloth, super handy for all sorts of things. I used it 2 days ago to wrap around my head because I was sleeping in a hammock without a bug net, and the mosquitoes and the flies, kind of like they are right now, are buzzing around your face trying to eat you alive, and you can wrap your face up with this thing and protect yourself. A light blanket cover kind of deal in summertime weather. Really, really handy. Oh, bandage. If I cut myself, I can cut this into little strips, whatever, and use it as a bandage or a large bandage if you need it for such. Just very versatile thing. A towel, dry off and you jump in the creek. Big deal. And inside that, so inside my metal container, I've got this small mesh bag that just keeps all my stuff organized when that cup is in use. So if I'm using the cup for whatever reason, all this stuff isn't gonna just be floating around in my pack. But in here, I have just various things. You know, I've got a headlamp inside of there, a black diamond headlamp that I like a lot, cordages of all various lengths from 25 down to like 5-foot little sections, a small little notepad, a backup fire starter ferro rod. A lighter is always in my pocket. I think I have another lighter in here too. I should. If I don't have one in here, I should have another lighter. I've always got a lighter in my pocket, but a ferro rod is just as backup because my primary way of starting a fire is always going to be a lighter. It's just the easiest. It's the most reliable, best way to do it. I've got a small spoon that I've cut down so it fits in my bag really easily. A pen to write on my little notepad, a knife sharpener, a compass and thermometer, and then some extra batteries right there ready to go for my headlamp. Now let's talk about shelter. Shelter, I've always carried some sort of shelter with me, and almost always it is a poncho. My main source of shelter is not always a poncho. It's not always my primary source of shelter, but I will always have one with me. It's just so dang versatile as far as rain gear, as far as shelter, as far as You can make a makeshift litter out of it, move a person from point A to point B if they're injured. There's just so many things a poncho can do, and they don't take up a lot of space. They're not very heavy, and they're worth their weight in gold, in my opinion. So I always have a poncho in my pack somewhere. In addition to that, on the same lines of shelter, because shelter can be extremely important, is just a trash bag. Trash bag I can use to cover up my pack if I need to. I've literally swam across the lake before in the wintertime using just a trash bag. I wrapped up my pack in a trash bag and then swam across about I think it was a third of a mile in the wintertime using just this one piece of gear, and kept all my clothes dry and everything when I got out on the other side. Hammock. This is not something that's always in there, but it will shift. I'll always carry some sort of thing to lay on, whether that be a sleep pad or that be a hammock. I've always got something to lay on, because making yourself a mattress out of natural materials is definitely a thing, and it's great that you can have those skills, and you should 100% have those skills. I'll do a video on that soon. That's a good idea. Don't forget, I got to do that video. But it just takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, a lot of sweat goes into it. So having something to lay on like this small Grand Trunk hammock, inexpensive, or a sleep pad of some sort, whether that be inflatable or one of those accordion ones, is a good idea to carry with you. Always in my pack. Some sort of insulating layer. This is a jacket. It might be a raincoat, might be this puffy. This is a down jacket because it crushes down really, really tiny. That's why it's usually in there. So in the summertime, like it is right now, it's hot outside, but the lows still might get in the 50s. So laying in your hammock in 50 degrees is pretty chilly. It's kind of uncomfortable, and if you're not getting good sleep, you can't function properly. It's hard to get the work done that you need to get done if you're not sleeping well. So having a puffy jacket like this is more than enough generally in my area. I will always have something to eat. So it doesn't matter what it is. This just so happens to be a Payday candy bar. I chose Payday candy bar because it's super calorie dense. I don't eat this. I don't recommend eating candy, obviously, on a regular basis. I do not eat candy on a regular basis. But if I'm down and I've been working, I've been hiking, I've been trekking, I've been doing whatever, and I need a pick-me-up. I need some calories in my body to be able to finish whatever it is that I need to do in kind of a, not necessarily an emergency situation, although that could be the case, but just I've been working all day, I wasn't prepared, had to skip lunch for whatever reason, and I'm struggling. Something like this with, geez, how many calories are in this thing? Calories per serving is 150. This has 450 calories in this one little bar, and it doesn't melt when it gets hot. It gets a little soft, but doesn't melt, and they last a long time, long shelf life. So that's kind of what I'd recommend for the emergency ration. But that's it. That is the core of my kit. That is what is in any pack that I'm carrying, any bag that you see that I've got strapped to myself or my motorcycle or in my truck. It's gonna have basically that in it. And with these things, this minimal amount of gear, I can make a lot of stuff happen, and I can be fairly comfortable in pretty much any condition that's out there. Again, mission specific, I'll add to this, but I almost never take away. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this. Is there anything I'm missing? Am I a bonehead for not including something? And if you don't feel like leaving a comment about that, tell me what your favorite kind of tree is. Favorite color, favorite movie. Doesn't really matter as long as you leave a comment, because it helps with YouTube voodoo algorithms. See you next time.